The New York Knicks trailed by as many as 19 points and ended up fighting back against the Miami Heat. I'm so mixed on this game. Like, I actually can't believe we came back and won it, but at the same time, I can because the Knicks have done that this season. They get off to slow starts and they've got so much firepower, the second most in basketball, that they're capable of coming back and winning games like this. Cleveland was trailing by about the same amount of points to the Portland Trailblazers earlier, and they came back and won. It just goes to show that the Knicks, they've got this switch, and when it's on, they can compete with anyone. Even Boston, I mean, we were down by 25 in that game, 27, cut it to 4 points. I get they ended up losing that game, like 15 or whatever, but still, man, I mean, even like the Cleveland game at the beginning of the year, the Knicks were winning that one by double digits and lost. The Thunder game, the first one in OKC, they were winning by double digits late in that one. So the Knicks just consistently haven't been able to put it together this year against the top teams. But I think this is definitely a win that the team needed, because it's just, you don't want to start dropping these types of games. I mean, the Heat were without, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Jaquez. I could be saying that wrong. And then Andrew Wiggins, they were without. So you're talking about one of the better players and then a big rotational guy for them. They're without them. The Knicks are basically fully healthy. The only guy that's not out there is Ariel Hakordi, but Mitch is back. So Precious didn't play tonight. I'm getting kind of concerned. Achua played 4 minutes the game before that in Memphis, and now doesn't play at all. So something's going on, and I'm gonna have to definitely look that up after this game. But the Knicks, the reason why they came back was, again, just their firepower. The offense, I mean, the Heat started to miss some shots. And then eventually, it was an absolute disaster kind of towards the end of this game. The Heat just nearly came back when they had no business doing that. Like, Brunson had that foul. It led to Alec Burks wide open three-pointer off an inbound. Oh, that happens. But the Knicks, I mean, Jalen Brunson down the stretch of games is starting to become, I don't know if I want to say one of the best ever. I mean, it's a little premature, but Brunson, without question, is as good as it gets in the NBA right now when the game's on the line. I mean, there was a stat. It was like the last 18 of 23 points by the Knicks were scored or assisted upon by Jalen Brunson. That is awesome, but at the same time, it goes to show that other guys need to step up, because Brunson had to do everything. I mean, he had 5 points. I put money on Brunson tonight to score for 20 points. He had done that 6 straight times, now 7. And he had 5 at halftime, and there was no doubt in my mind he was going to get it. He ended up finishing, I think, with 31, I want to say, which is above his average. But you can see that the Knicks, they just want everything to go into Brunson's hands. And as much as I like that, at the same time, that's why you go out and you get a Karl-Anthony Towns. And he definitely stepped up in the second half. I thought Cat had a quiet first half, and then started to erupt later on, getting to the basket. That's the thing about Cat, is sometimes he settles for threes and he needs to go to the basket, because he's truly unstoppable at doing that this season, especially since he hurt his thumb. Hasn't really shot the three ball as well. So Cat just needs to go off of the dribble and score at will. Now, the issue, though, is that Cat's defense is bottom 5 at his position this season. So is Brunson. So the Knicks have 2 horrific defenders in their starting 5 that they've got to work around. But looking at the stats from this game, I mean, Bam had to have had around 30. He had 30 on the dot. Yeah, I mean, 12 of 16. Cat was guarding him the majority of this. That's not going to cut it. I thought, honestly, the Knicks were better with OG on him. I like that matchup. And then you got, of course, Ware, that the Knicks had to deal with too. He had a great first half. I believe he had 5 blocks in the first half. And then second half was very, very quiet. The Knicks shut him out. Davion Mitchell had made, 8? I don't know if it was 8 or 9 straight threes. He finally missed one. I was happy about that. Tyler Hero was awful in the second half. Great first half, bad second half. So the Heat did start to miss shots. The Knicks defense certainly stepped up. They had that run that they had where, I mean, oh my God, the Knicks fans were going berserk in the crowd. Let's go Knicks chants. I mean, Miami has a huge fan base. Like, it's Miami, but it's nothing like New York, I tell you that much. That stretch was just, a lot of it was rebounding, but majority was just getting to the free throw line and not settling for jumpers. The Knicks ended up shooting the 3-ball 31.8%, which is not great. The Knicks missed 30 shots from 3. If you think about it, like, that's kind of crazy. They missed 5 free throws too. I thought free throws were going to come back to bite us. I mean, we saw OG miss one, Brunson missed one. I mean, I'm like, man, you can't be doing that. And thankfully it didn't matter. But Tyler Hero, of course, had a chance to basically win the game and then missed it. And the Knicks had like 3 seconds left at the end of the fourth quarter. That was scary. Thankfully, Hero was cold in the second half too. Anything else? Yeah, I want to talk about Deuce McBride. So Miles McBride ended up scoring 12 points, was a plus 11. Mikal Bridges, I mean, he's played well of late. I don't think he was very good in this game. He was 2 of 11, but he did have 8 assists and 4 rebounds. But the Knicks went with McBride over Bridges. And I mean, you can't really blame Tibbs for that. I mean, McBride's ability to play elite defense and to shoot the three ball, also was shooting off of the dribble with his mid range tonight. I mean, the Knicks don't win this game without McBride. Like, the Knicks probably get blown out, if I'm being honest, without Deuce McBride. He was that good. Shamit played 14 minutes, which is big. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but 14 minutes from a fourth guy off of the bench is just, it's something that the Knicks just don't really do with Tibbs. Achua didn't play. Not sure exactly why DeLon Wright has a roster spot. I mean, the Knicks, why would you have a veteran holding a spot if you're not going to play him? That's kind of my thing. Is like, I know 15 guys isn't really like realistic to get in, but it's a big difference between like Tyler Kolek and Pacome Dadier are rookies, right? So they're developing players. Wright is a veteran. Matt Ryan and I'm looking at Jacob Toppin were waived earlier this afternoon, which I did make a video on. Go check it out after this if you didn't see it. Mitchell Robinson had a putback, 2 boards, 2 points, had a block shot early on in this game, in the first half. I thought Mitch looked good, -6, but again, it's his second game back in like a long time. So, and in campaign, I thought had a good game, 10 minutes, 3 assists, 5 points. I'm trying to do the math. I was gonna bet money on campaign tonight. I don't know. I forget what his line was. I think it was 8.5. So he actually would have hit. Deuce McBride easily 1.5 3 ball underdog man. He hit 3, so that's easy money there. And then Jalen Brunson. I mean, so if he had 5 points in the first half and 31 points in the second half, I mean, and of course OT, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. 26. I'm not good with numbers, man. Sorry. But 26 points in the second half is crazy. His three ball was not on. Brunson he wasn't aggressive early on. And then to start the second half, he opens up with one of those typical Brunson runner, if you want to call it that sort of shot. And as soon as he did that, I'm like, okay, yeah, Brunson's easily going to have a great second half. Cat had 16 rebounds and 19 points. I didn't know Cat had 16 boards. That just goes to show the expectations that I have of Karl-Anthony Towns. I mean, I know most Knicks fans just want to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I want a championship. And I'm not saying Knicks fans don't want a championship, because if anybody wants a championship, it's Knicks fans. But I think a lot of Knicks fans would be happy to get to the conference finals. To me, I said it coming to the season, this is championship or bust. If the Knicks don't win the championship, it's a disappointing season. Now, if the Knicks take the Celtics to 7 games in the second round and like lose a heartbreaker, like, I mean, yeah, it's gonna sting, but like, they can build off of that. But I think the Knicks honestly do need to go out there and get a championship, because I mean, why not, right? Like, they made the Cat trade, they made the Bridges trade to win a championship, right? So, and it was a huge gamble too, because last year's team won 50 games and was elite in the second half of the season. Injuries kind of prevented that, but also Randall had to go, man. I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't take back the Cat trade. In terms of the Bridges trade, I think it's too early. But like, 5 firsts is not looking great. I mean, again, like, Deuce the past couple of games has looked better than Bridges. The Bridges went off against the Sixers, but hopefully he can step up and lock in here, man. I mean, Bridges is so important to this team. I haven't talked about OG. I don't know how I haven't gotten to OG yet. He ended up scoring 23 points. He had a massive third quarter. 9 of 18, 4 of 9, 2 steals, 3 blocks, 9 boards, 5 assists. I mean, OG, this was one of his better games of the season. I mean, he really did take over this game, and he made some just absolutely game-winning plays, which is great. I'm happy for OG. 4 of 9 from 3. It seemed like when Brunson missed a shot, OG made one and kind of made up for it. And then just can't stress enough of the defense he had in this one. It's many times this season where OG has taken over a game defensively and gotten big stops and rebounds. And of course, he had that dunk that helped the Knicks win this game, very, very late off of the Hart timeout when he almost got trapped. And then Hart had 14.7 boards, 3 assists. Hart had 10 points in the first quarter and then was basically non-existent scoring after that. Did have a block. Heads up play to call that timeout. If he tries to force something, maybe the Knicks lose, right? Probably end up losing. So, but yeah, this is one of those games where it's like, I'm happy they won it. Just kind of, it's like the way they won it. I mean, they came back, like, it's exciting, but man, this has to be cleaned up. The defense was so bad to start the game; it was laughable. This is exactly why the Knicks have struggled against the upper echelon. It's just because of their defense. So they got to get this addressed. But I think the more Mitch starts to play and get, just accustomed to his normal minutes and routine, I think they'll be much better off. And I'm still not completely against starting Cat and Mitch together, if I'm being honest. So, yeah. I'm out, guys. Peace.